Good morning, students. In the last class, we have discussed about the human transportation system, the components of human transportation system, that is a pumping organ, a network of tubes, and a system to repair, were all discussed in the last class. And we have discussed about the blood and its role. And now let us discuss about lymph and transportation in plants. Lymph. Lymph is also known as tissue fluid or interstitial fluid or leaked out fluid or extracellular fluid. So many terms are there. And lymph is that leaked out fluid through the small pores which are present in the walls of the blood capillaries. Capillaries, they themselves are the smallest sized blood vessels, and these capillaries are having one cell thickness. Even though they are having only one cell thickness, in their walls minute pores are present, and some amount of fluid is leaked out through these pores into intercellular spaces in the tissues, and this fluid is known as lymph. This lymph or the intercellular fluid or interstitial fluid or tissue fluid contains some amount of plasma and some amount of proteins and some amount of blood cells. Unlike the actual blood wherein full plasma, full amount of proteins, full amount of blood cells are present, in lymph, so only some amount of plasma, some amount of proteins and some blood cells are present. Lymph is similar to the plasma of blood, but it is colorless and it contains less protein. Already it is stated above, only some amount of plasma, some amount of proteins and some blood cells. So, since they contain only less number of blood cells, the lymph is similar to the plasma of blood, but it is colorless and it contains only less protein. From intercellular spaces, lymph drains into lymphatic capillaries. And these lymphatic capillaries, they merge together and they form large lymph vessels, and these large lymph vessels finally they drain the lymph into larger veins. The function of lymph is to carry digested and absorbed fat from intestines and to drain the excess fluid from extracellular space back into blood. So some amount of fluid is present in the extracellular spaces in the tissue. So this, if it is excess in quantity, that excess extracellular fluid, the fluid from extracellular space, has to be carried back into the blood. Next, transportation in plants. Plants synthesize food by photosynthesis, but the food that is synthesized by photosynthesis alone is not enough for the development of the plant body. So they need other biomolecules also to be synthesized. In order to synthesize the other biomolecules, plants need so many other mineral nutrients. The mineral nutrients are taken from its source. Soil is the nearest source for the plants in order to obtain the mineral nutrients like nitrogen and phosphorus. And the absorption of these mineral nutrients, it occurs by roots, because the soil contacting organ of the plant is nothing but root. So from soil contacting organs are parts of the roots, the minerals have to be carried to chlorophyll containing organs. The minerals have to be carried from soil contacting organs to chlorophyll containing organs. What are soil contacting organs? Roots. What are chlorophyll containing organs? Leaves. So minerals have to be carried from roots to leaves. If the distance between the soil contacting organ and the chlorophyll containing organ is very less, then these minerals can be carried by means of diffusion alone. If the distance between these two organs is large enough, then special transportation or proper transportation system is needed. The distance between roots and leaves is large in complex developed plants, so the raw materials or the mineral nutrients cannot be carried by diffusion, and proper transportation systems are present because it is needed in these plants. Plants have low energy needs because plants do not move anywhere, they are stationary, and large portion of plant body has dead cells, which you have learned in class 9th itself. Since plants do not move anywhere and large portion of plant body is having dead cells, plants have very low energy needs. As plants have low energy needs, they use only slow transportation systems. If they have more energy needs, then they must be in need of faster transportation systems. As their energy needs are low, they use slow transportation systems. The plant transport systems carry energy stores from leaves and raw materials from roots. Plant transport systems carry energy stores, that is synthesized food, from leaves to other parts of the plant, and raw materials, that is mineral nutrients and water, from roots to the leaves or chlorophyll containing parts of the plant. Xylem and phloem are the transportation tissues in the plant. Xylem carries water and minerals. Phloem carries products of photosynthesis. First, let us discuss transport of water. The transport of water takes place by xylem. The transport of water by xylem is unidirectional, that is only from roots to top of the plant body. Continuous system of water conducting channel is created by the interconnected vessels and tracheids of roots, stems and leaves. There is a continuous system of water conducting channel. It is prepared or it is constructed by the interconnected vessels and tracheids of roots, stems and leaves. At the roots, cells first take up mineral ions from the soil by active transport. When cells of the roots first take up mineral ions by active transport, it creates concentration difference of ions between soil and cells. That means as the mineral ions are actively taken up into the root cells, inside the roots more mineral ion concentration will be there, and in the soil low mineral ion concentration will be there. So as solute concentration is more in the root cells and less in the soil, water will move from low solute concentration area to high solute concentration area by diffusion. So to remove this difference in ion concentration between soil and root cells, water moves in root cells and a steady movement of water into root xylem takes place. This creates a water column in the root xylem, and if this water column is pushed upwards, which is known as root pressure. So because of the steady movement of water into the root xylem, water is pushed upwards into the what? The water conducting channel, right? But this root pressure is not enough to move water upwards continuously until it reaches to the leaves. In xylem, water has to move until chlorophyll containing parts. The root pressure is not enough to move the water in the xylem upwards to the highest points of the plant body, that is chlorophyll containing parts. They are what? Leaves. Plant loses water through stomata by transpiration. As plants lose the water, this lost water, means whatever the water that is lost, has to be replaced. And this lost water by transpiration, or the transpiration lost water, is replaced by water from xylem vessels in the leaf, if water supply is in adequate condition. Thus, evaporation of water molecules from leaf cells, evaporation of water molecules from leaf cells creates a suction over the water column in the xylem. When suction is created over the water column in the xylem, it pulls water from xylem cells of roots to the top points. Okay, this suction pulls the water from the xylem cells of the roots. This is known as transpirational pull. What is transpiration? The loss of water in the form of water vapor from the aerial parts of the plant body, especially through the stomata, is known as transpiration. This transpiration has two important functions. One is, transpiration helps in absorption and upward movement of water as it creates a suction over the water conducting channel in the xylem. And transpiration helps in temperature regulation because as water has to get evaporated, the needed temperature for the evaporation is taken from the plant body only. So, the temperature is regulated by transpiration. In water transport, there are two major forces that are operating in two different times. Effect of root pressure is more, or effect of root pressure is the major driving force for the water transport during the night time because stomata are closed during the night time. And effect of transpirational pull is more, or effect of transpirational pull is major driving force during daytime as stomata are open during the day. This is how, by using two physical forces in a unidirectional manner through xylem, water is transported only in upward direction from roots to the leaves, or from soil contacting organs to chlorophyll containing organ. Next, transport of food and other substances. The transport of food and other substances in the plant body is known as translocation, and this translocation occurs by or through phloem. Phloem transports soluble products of photosynthesis, amino acids and other substances. All these substances are delivered to storage organs of roots, fruits and seeds and to other growing parts of the plant body. The translocation occurs through sieve tubes with the help of companion cells. In phloem, like in xylem, there are four elements that are present. They are sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem parenchyma and phloem fibers. The translocation occurs mainly through sieve tubes with the help of what? Companion cells. Translocation, or the food transport by phloem, is bidirectional, means it occurs both upwards and in downwards also. Unlike xylem transport, phloem transport utilizes energy. In xylem transport, there is no utilization of any energy from ATP. It occurs only by means of physical forces, that is root pressure and transpirational pull. But phloem transport, it utilizes energy from ATP. The sucrose, that is the transporting form of a photosynthesized food, enters phloem sieve tubes using energy from ATP. It means sucrose enters phloem sieve tubes by active transport. If any substance crosses one particular area by using energy. Such transport is known as active transport. So sucrose enters from leaf cells into phloem sieve tubes using energy from ATP. So this is active transport, and the entry of sucrose into phloem sieve tubes increases the osmotic pressure of phloem, and the increase in the osmotic pressure of phloem causes the water to move into it from the adjacent xylem vessels. And this increased osmotic pressure makes the sucrose solution to move in the phloem to the tissues where there is less pressure, and the movement of sucrose to different parts of the plant body occurs as per the needs of the plants. For example, if you take the starting of the spring, there are no leaves on the plant. Then the storage area of the plant, that is the storage organs of the roots, contain the stored sugar. So in the spring, stored sugar in root or in some parts of the stem, it will be moving to the buds that need energy to grow. Okay, so as per the plant needs, the food is transported in the plant body. But whatever it may be, in the transport of food, energy is spent. So it involves active transport. The food transport by phloem involves the active transport, unlike the xylem transport, wherein only physical forces, that is root pressure and transpirational pull alone are involved. With this, we have completed transportation in plants also. Next class, let us discuss about the excretion in plants and in animals, especially in humans. Thank you.